This is a position when the pawn is on the 7th rank and the king is in front of the pawn, and this white rook is cutting off this king, and this defending rook is not letting the king move so that the pawn will be promoted. If the king was able to move, then the pawn is easily promoted. And so in this position, this is a winning position for white because the king is already close to this pawn, and the pawn can be supported while the rook can focus on protecting the king. And so the first move is this move is to get to b8. The main thing we need to do is get a rook here and a king here and push the pawn to, so we can protect the king and provide a shelter for the king. And so that's why we play this move first, and after the king goes here. So let's say if king goes here, then we can go directly here and go to that strategy. But because the king, if we go here and the king is able to get closer, right? So that's why the king won't go here. Otherwise we can directly go in. And if the king goes here, now we can't go here because the king will just block this part of the board, or can go just go here and cover these squares. And so that's why we need to go from h2, and this square is already covered by this whole file is covered by the rook. So after h2, king goes to e7, then we go here, and then king goes to d6, then rook goes here, and now rook goes to a1, still keeping an eye on the pawn. King goes here. Now we have to give this check, otherwise the pawn will promote, and we don't the two, when the rook and the king both are protecting the promoted pawn. And so after this check, king will go here, here king will go here, and now there is no check that will save black, but black has this move, after which white goes here, gives a check, king goes here, and because white has to give a check, otherwise if white promotes, then this is checkmate. And so white has to give a check first, king goes here, and white has to give this sacrifice, because if white doesn't give a check, then the rook is lost anyways, because if white doesn't do anything and promotes to a queen, and then this rook can take the pawn or the queen and win the game. And so white has to give this check, and after here white has to sacrifice the rook, and now black goes here, and still you can't promote because this check just wins the queen. And so white goes back, rook goes back to c8 to protect the promotion square. Rook goes here, gives a check, king goes here, rook goes another check, and then king goes here. And now there are no checks for black, and white will promote to, this pawn will promote to a queen without any problems. So the main idea of this position is to get a rook to protect the king and also the pawn promotion square. So we can look at it again and a bit quicker. So rook was here and this. So first we brought a rook here, king went here, rook went to the back, and king went up, rook went here, now rook went here, this check, now the king has to go here, check again, king goes here, now we threaten checkmate, and that's why the rook gives a check, king goes here, rook sacrifices, but king can't take, otherwise with promotion you just win the rook, and with check, and so that's why king can't take. And after this, rook goes back. To protect the pawn, we still can't promote because the rook goes up and takes the queen. And after this, rook c8, we give this check, king goes here, we give another check, and here, and the pawn promotes without any problems. And this is the way to win the game when the king is in front of the pawn, and this king is a bit far away from the pawn, and this rook is not letting the king get out. And that's all for this video, and thanks for watching.